Okay, new day, new problem. Converting leads on the mobile experience isn't very intuitive. I'm going to show the iPad in a second. When you want to convert a lead, you have to create an account manually and then link that to the lead, and it's too many steps for a salesperson. They're just not going to do it, right? So I thought I would create a single page screen flow, capture the bare minimum of fields that they could ever possibly need in order to very quickly create an account, a contact, and an op. So basically skip leads completely. To make this a user win, I need to be able to give a link to the newly created opportunity so they don't have to go searching for it, right? That way they can very quickly capture like a referral information, or if they're on an iPad at a trade show, they can get basic info and then very quickly create an opportunity, but not like sacrifice the object and record structure and all of that. So let's look at the iPad. Hold on. Okay, so on the iPad, we have a lead record, and I'm going to mark this as converted. And this is wild. So look at this. The account name is blank. Like, they don't even put the company name in there. What a joke, right? So from here, you have to create a new account and then remember what the company name was. And then let's just write test. What a mess, right? So let's say this is test, and we'll hit save. All the while, the sales rep is like ready to choke somebody, right? So once this is done, then they can go through their conversion process. But again, it just doesn't make sense. So my solution, let's get away from this dumb iPad. I'm going to go back to the computer because that's where I built this, and I still have to test it on the iPad. But okay, screen flow, put it on the home page. Company name, first, last, title, email, street, city, state, zip, country. So let's fill this in, and then we'll show you how we did it. So, all right, let's say Elise test 7, company, and then Elise test 7, owner, Elise 7, test. I know there's better ways to do this. Don't at me. This is really just for me to remember how the heck I did this. So pop this stuff in here because I required it all because I'm a mean Salesforce admin. Boom. Flow worked, and now you've created your new information. If you click on the hyperlink, it's going to open up a new tab, which will take you directly to the opportunity, which is amazing, right? From here, they can add products and do all that good stuff. So, how to do it. Started with a screen flow. So, basic field creation, couple of columns, nothing exciting there. Right? That part's done. And then what I did was a create record element. So I'm going to create one account. We started the account record. I'm going to use my separate resources, and you can see I'm creating a record of the object account. And then here's how I map the fields, right? I want the billing city and the on the account to be the city field from my screen flow. So that's all very logical, right? I want the account name to be the company name field. I want the owner of the record to be the user record that's entering this information in. So pretty logical there. What's cool with Flow now, of course, is that it automatically stores that account ID, so you don't have to like go get that ID anymore. Pretty dope. Then we have a second create record element that is, that's creating a contact. So let me pop into here, same concept, create one contact, use separate resources, and again, do the mapping. This time I want the account ID for this contact that's created to be the account ID from the create account. So let me pull this out of here and show you. In the value, I'm scrolling down here, and instead of having to do a get record, I can now see that it stored the account ID from my create account, right? So I've mapped all of my fields, and I feel good about that. And then I create an opportunity. Again, creating one record, and we're using our resources, and we're mapping the account ID. We're putting in a value for the close date of today, being pretty hopeful. Creating a name. So I have a couple of things in here, like a formula that I did for that. No big deal. There's a contact lookup field for primary contact, and I wanted that to be the contact that I created as part of this flow. So again, if I click into search my resources, I don't have to do a get contact ID, right? It's already in here as part of the updated flow. Pretty awesome. So the next thing is the success screen. So if I'm in the success screen, basic text here, right? Display text. You've created a new account, contact, and opportunity. And then here I have a display text area where I've put a hyperlink. So if you double click into that, you can see it says op URL. So what is that? That, let me cancel out of here, that is this formula. So there's something called a base URL, and I'll paste that in here so you guys can copy and paste it. So this is so like, you don't have to hard code the client's namespace or whatever. And then adding in the opportunity ID from that create opportunity element. Makes sense? Just like I showed you for the account and the contact. This time I'm pulling that in, right? So if I were to go to insert a resource and I wanted to grab that opportunity ID, very simply scroll down to my variables. I want the opportunity ID from where I created the opportunity, and then it pulls in right there, right? So that's how I did that. And then now that I've got that information, right, that's how I then went into edit my element in here. And the link URL, I just pasted that in there, right? I knew what that was, and then I put it in there. So, oh yeah, obviously I highlighted this text. Then I went down to the hyperlink, right? And then I pasted that, that URL merge field in. So that's it. Very exciting stuff. I don't want to ever forget how I did this because I went through a lot of other painful failure type steps to get here. So I'm not going to go through all that, just the good stuff.